Today I'm going to discuss some question answers of the chapter, A Question of Trust. This is the fourth chapter from the book Footprints Without Feet, and here we'll be doing some questions. The first question that is here is, Horace Danby was good and respectable, but not completely honest. Why do you think this description suited Danby? So, Horace Danby was good and respectable, but he was not completely honest. We all know this through the stories, but here we have to give reasons that why he was not completely honest. The answers, I've put the answer in the form of points. You will have to develop these points to form proper answers. The first point is, Horace Danby was considered a good citizen and honest citizen. He made locks and was a successful businessman. People did not know that he robbed safe every year, but he had the hobby of reading expensive books, buying expensive books, and for which he robbed a safe every year. So people did not know that he robbed a safe every year. Fourth point, he robbed to secretly buy expensive books that he loved to read. Fifth, Danby cannot be categorized as a typical thief. As a principal, he robbed one safe every year from the rich. Why he cannot be called a typical thief? Because he did not frequently rob, but just robbed once a year. He broke open the safe of some rich person of a rich house once in a year, and that is why this means that he was not a typical thief or a regular thief. Point number 6, not a common thief. Why? Because common thieves steal whenever they get a chance. So these are the 6 points. You can develop them and form an answer. Now the second question is, do you think Horace Danby was unfairly punished or that he deserved what he got? He was sent to the jail. So do you think that he was unfairly punished, he should not have been punished, or what he got was right? The answer again is in form of points, and you develop these points to form a proper answer. Horace Danby is a curious case. Curious case means is a strange case. He was guilty yet not guilty because he had stolen yet not taken the things away. Third point, the lady who got away with the jewels, that means the lady whom he met in the house, she got away with the jewels and was the real culprit because she asked him to break open the safe and she took away all the jewelries from there. So she was the real culprit. She escaped with the booty. Booty means the looted goods, and was not arrested. Point number 5, Horace did not get anything yet sent to jail. Point number 6, all legal evidence against Horace, but all the evidence, it was against Horace. No one knew that there was someone else in that house who had instigated Horace to break open the safe and had taken away everything. Why legal evidence against Horace? Point number 7, fingerprints all over the place. Point number 8, in eyes of the law, can be a real culprit and accordingly got punished. So he had fingerprints all over. So this was the proof, and law sees proof. So this was the proof against him, and that is why he got the punishment. Had the police not caught him, he would have continued robbing people. And most probably, he was not out of this habit. He was planning for another robbery, but he was caught by the police. Otherwise, he would have continued to rob people. Question number 3. Why did Horace get angry when anyone talks about honor among thieves? So why does he get angry when people talk about honor among thieves? Answer is, honor among thieves means the thieves will not steal from each other. In other words, it means that criminals observe a moral code of conduct in which they do not do anything illegal to their partners in crime. Horace got angry when someone talks about honor among thieves, for he landed in prison because someone did not believe there is honor among thieves. So because someone did not believe this, that there is honor, one thief will not try to put another thief into any kind of problem, because it is unwritten, nowhere this moral code is written, but yet they follow this code of conduct that they do not try to put one thief into problem because of themselves. So whenever he hears about the honor among thieves, he gets angry. Why? Because this lady, she did not believe in this honor among thieves, and because of her, she was in the jail. Now the fourth question, Horace is now the assistant librarian in prison. Explain the irony in this line. Horace indulged, answer is, Horace indulged in robbing safes because he wanted to buy an expensive books and read them. But he felt he was not doing anything wrong because he was robbing people who had lot of money. So he felt going to prison was wrong. Last time he did not steal for himself, yet he landed in prison and was surrounded with books. So the irony is that he was stealing to buy books because he loved reading expensive books, keeping expensive books. So he used to steal once a year. And the irony is that because of this, he is now in the jail and he is the assistant librarian. He's surrounded by books all around him and he can spend his time reading books in the library, taking care of the books, and in the jail's library, in the prison library, he's the assistant. So what he loved doing, for that only he was sent to the jail, and now he is doing that in the jail. Not he doesn't have the freedom, but in the prison he is doing the same thing. Now we come to question number 5. Explain the statement honor among thieves. Answer is, the phrase honor among thieves means that thieves do not cheat another thief. They do not play trick on another thieves. They have certain principles. They abide by the principle of honoring another thief. So the honor among thieves means that they follow certain unwritten rules, that they do not try to play trick on another person, another thief. They do not try to disclose the modus operandi or the method of their stealing or their plans, because both are thieves, and if one is caught, might be the other will also be caught. So they try to help each other in carrying out their work. Question number 6. Explain the statement, society must be protected from some men like you. Now this statement was spoken by the lady whom Horace meets in the house, the other thief. It means that a thief is saying something good to another thief. It means that one thief is trying to teach moral to another thief. The irony is that the lady is bigger and more crafty thief than Horace, and strangely she is talking of ridding the society of thieves. So the statement is also ironical. Why? Because she herself is a thief and she is trying to teach or preach Danby that society must be protected from men like him and he should be handed over to the police. She is in the same profession, she is doing the same, but she is not talking about herself, she is not looking at herself, but she is trying to threaten Horace, saying that he should be handed over to the police because he is a threat. So this is a very ironical statement spoken by this lady. Thank you very much. I hope the answers are clear.